Yes. The claw marks in the body, the time of day as well as the location.
The victim themselves has a rather nasty history. Yes.
Yes, there's only one conclusion, really. One inescapable conclusion. I finally found you, didn't I? I'm getting close. Dangerously close for what I can. Hello? Who's there? Reveal yourself. I'm armed. Hands raised, please, and no sudden movements. Turn and face the wall. My pistol is against your back. Don't get any ideas about making an escape attempt. Now I'm going to inspect you. A .38 revolver. Standard law enforcement firearm. Ah, and a detective's badge. Did you kill a police officer? Is that how you got these items? You're not a detective. No detective will ever let themselves be held up by someone like me. Now confess. It would only be worse for you if you don't. Check your wallet. Which pocket? Let's see. Detective appointed by the province police department. Fulfilled their duties. Oh dear. I am so sorry, detective. Let me help you. I was rather rough, wasn't I? Your wallet. Dear, oh dear. Please, let me apologize again. I promise I meant you no harm. I merely thought... Oh no. No, I'm not a private investigator, nor a detective like yourself. This crime scene? Well, I'm what you might call a concerned citizen. Someone who's taken a personal interest in all these dastardly events that have been occurring recently. I just want to check. I'm not under arrest, am I? Well, even though we never met before, I am known to your police department. I have an understanding with them. If you were to arrest me, it would simply be a waste of time, as I would be returned here. Though in that time, this case may prove more difficult to solve, as the killer of the man behind me may use it to escape. You need to confirm this with your superiors. Yes, I completely understand. But what if we leave that for a moment and inspect the scene? You're a detective, after all. I'm certain you want to start solving the case as soon as possible. Oh, well, I arrived here through a case I've been handling, the evidence of which led me here. A few minutes too late, it seemed. What about yourself? Ah, someone heard the screaming and called it in. Yes. Yes, I suspected it wasn't that long ago. The victim's blood is still warm. And there's certainly a lot of it, isn't there? It would make me faint if it weren't for the fact that I've seen much worse scenes in the past. Well, it still upsets my stomach slightly. Are you feeling alright? Ah, similar experience to me then. Tell me, what do you know of the man lying dead by our feet? You are a local, after all. I am merely a visitor. Interesting. Yes, I gather they were of some importance, given the sheer size of this mansion. Oh, not a mansion, a museum. Fascinating. That explains some of the items on display. I thought perhaps this man was just a collector. But the museum fits with what I learned about him. The Cobalt Museum? Yes. Yes, I've heard of it now, though in truth the memory of it was at the back of my mind. This man, I presume then, is Elias Cobalt, the museum's curator. Looking at him, he seems older than some of these artifacts. Rather strange, he's supposed to only be in his 50s. I suppose death catches up with everyone. Even an unnatural death like the one before us. Tell me, detective, looking at this scene, what do you suspect did the deed, to put it gently? Yes, of course. Take your time. Yes. The claw marks were the first thing I noticed as well. Most gruesome. Tore the man completely in two, right at the waist. Oh, that's somewhere over in the corner. Based on the bloody splatter, I believed it bounced off the wall. Yes, quite disturbing. What I find most horrifying, though, is... well, look at Mr. Eliot's face. There's a complete look of fear on it. Like he witnessed something truly terrifying, a split second before he died. Not totally strange. I imagine I'd be scared too. But look, his hair. Do you see? Stark white. Not surprising given their age, but this photograph here and that portrait over there, were one of them missing, I wouldn't notice But together, do you see? Both are dated from either this year or the year before, 1952. Yet, Alias has jet black hair. It's fascinating, isn't it? How white it is now. Almost unnaturally so. Forgive me, I was distracted. Is there anything else you can see? No. Alright then, detective. What's your theory? Or hypothesis, as men of science call it. A bear. Yes, logically I suppose that would be the right answer, despite how illogical it also is. I mean, a bear in the city? It's a very strange thought. That being said, to someone with a realistic view of the world, it would seem the only option available. However, what we happen to be dealing with here, detective, is not realistic, as you may term it. Yes, as you may have noticed from my candor, I suspect something you may believe to be illogical. If you allow me to explain my own theory. Thank you. You're very reasonable. Now, prepare yourself. What I'm about to say will seem quite strange. In fact, in order to test whether you can hear this, take a look at this pendant. No, it's not mine. Certainly not. Merely something I took off someone I encountered. A criminal. I use it to test the minds of those I encounter, to see whether they can handle the truth. Notice his appearance. A strange mixture of squid, human, even dragon. It may seem fantastical to you. A strange being that surely could not exist. But there's a part of your brain that knows the truth, isn't there? That itches, scratches ever so slightly at your sanity. Yes, I know the pain, my friend. I feel it every second of every day. You see, the fantastical is real, detective. Real. And the cause behind this man's death. You missed something during your investigation. A small burn mark, covered slightly by the blood. Here. See? Yes. You can see the green tint to it, can't you? Certainly a strange feature. I would have ignored it, were it not for the fact that I've encountered it before. Notice how little blood there is in the area? How clean the floor is. I suspect there was a rug of some kind here. One that holds more evidence. More blood, more burn marks. Perhaps the killer removed it. Perhaps they intended it to clean up the scene, but we arrived here first. Tell me, did you see anyone leaving when you... No. I see. In that case, then, I suppose the killer is still here. Now, calm down. We shall continue to discuss this. If the killer is still here, no doubt they are aware of our presence. Though the fact they haven't made a move yet suggests they are intimidated by us. We shall find them soon enough. Now, continuing. I suspect, were we to find this rug that covered the floor, we would find upon it symbols and burn marks that constitute a summoning circle. A circle that summoned an ungodly horror, no doubt responsible for the death of Mr. Cobalt here. Though, his death couldn't have come soon enough, I assure you. These claw marks. While I respect your logic, detective, they are far too big to belong to a bear, easily double the size. I am certain they belong to something much worse. A creature I have taken to calling a shambler. I've never encountered one, but associates of mine have. Their mad descriptions of it, the only things I was able to pry from their shaking lips. I'm certain this sounds ludicrous, but as a fellow investigator of ours once said, once all other options have been removed, what remains, however impossible, must be the truth. And I promise you, detective, this is the truth. I have encountered creatures like these before, dealt with a madman who summoned them. And while I try not to dwell on it, they are extremely dangerous. Both creature and summoner are perhaps the most dangerous beings to ever walk our fair earth. Even if you don't believe me about the Shambler, surely you have heard tales of the people that summoned them. They have been infesting Providence for months, like maggots to a carcass, killing, kidnapping, and comforting dozens to their side, all in the name of their Lord. The same Lord who bears the image on the pendant I am holding. Great Dread Cthulhu, priest of Riley. A godlike, unknowable being whose mere awakening would cause a horrifying end to life as we know it. I know little about it, only as much as I dare, because it takes a toll. Simply knowing the cruel god's name has sent men spiraling into the dark pit we call madness. Yes, I can see the pain in your mind. You must ignore it, detective. There are much more important things on hand. And you seem strong. That's why I'm telling you this. It doesn't matter if you believe it. Only the Cthulhu's cult do. They wish to awaken the great old one that sleeps beneath the earth. And while they have hidden it in secret for centuries, my recent focus on their activities has allowed me to uncover who they are. Men and women of all societies, nations, and creeds, looking down on their fellow man in disgust, wishing for something more, something beyond the stations and bodies they already hold, something they believe the great old one can give them. They call themselves the esoteric order of Dagon, and they must be stopped, Detective. I have made it my life's work. My partner was one of their sacrifices. One of their victims to an unjust god. If Cthulhu is their god, I have yet to see him create a wonder greater than the one ours bestowed upon us. That creature and his worshippers are the spawns of Satan himself, dark and foul in all the ways that decent people are kind and good. I've sworn to rid them from the earth from what they've done. And I won't stop. Not if... Apologies. I don't often speak about such things openly. Usually because I operate on my own. It has been a haunting, lonely life. But I know its importance. I cannot stress how imperative it is we stop whatever the Order is planning, Detective. Elias Colbert here was one of their members. And while I am not certain of the motive behind his murder, I do have my suspicions. Ah, then you believe me. At least about the cult. I suppose that will have to do. Elias was quite high in the Order's ranks. He was born in the port town of Innsmouth, where the Order originates, though none sane dare tread there. I suspect some sort of power struggle may have led to his death. And I suspect... our killer reveals their location. Come, Detective. You go to the window. Tell me if you see them outside, which I shall see if I can find them either on the mansion's grounds or in its halls. Don't worry. I am sufficiently armed, and I've faced the Order before. They shall not take me without a fight. And I have much fight to give. Now, if I were a murderous cultist, where would I be? If you're still here, come out. I promise you shall not be harmed. We merely have questions. Typical coward. Your cult does you no favors, Dark Priest. Ah! There you are. Detective, I can hear them. I believe they're headed down this hallway. But don't worry, it's a dead end? I was certain they came down here. I even saw them. Ah, Detective. No, I definitely saw them. I am certain. Though people in the past have lost their sanity from following the Order, I believe my mind is resolute. Which means the only option is that our opponent can turn invincible. Which certainly seems unlikely. Or that this hallway has an exit we are simply not seeing. What if... as I suspected. Yes, one of the candelabras on the walls is, in fact, a lever, revealing a hidden wall. How fun. Yes, fun is the correct word. You have to take joy when you can find it. I suspect the killer fled down here. Perhaps the door was already open. Perhaps it's even where they hid the rug with the summoning circle on it. Though I suspect that bit of evidence is largely unnecessary now. There was the slightest bit of blood upon the handle. Do you see it? Yes, that's what I saw. Well observed. Now, Detective, I know you're tempted to go and call for backup from your fine colleagues. You may do so if you wish, but I myself cannot wait. It could take minutes for said backup to arrive. Minutes that Elliot's killer will use to escape, as I said before. This is the closest I've gotten to the order in weeks. If I don't head there now, all of this investigation will have been for nothing. You understand? Thank you. Now, I am going to head down those stairs and pursue the killer. You are more than welcome to follow once backup arrives. However, no, Detective, I'm afraid I cannot allow that. Who knows what we will find down there? Better for you to stay up here. That way, if I die, at least you and your men will be able to handle the situation. Wipe out the order. But, if we both head off in pursuit, we could both die and the order would escape. Very well. I will head down. You call for backup, then return as quickly as you can and catch up. Be sure to give the police detailed instructions as to this passageway's location. But I tell you, Detective, it is dreadfully unlikely we shall return. I suspect this passage leads to one of the Order's meeting places.
And I don't dare to imagine the horrors we'll find.
You are certain you wish to come with me? Thank you, Detective. It is good to not be on my own for once. Surprising, but good. Now go. Call for help, and I shall meet you downstairs. Godspeed, Detective. I believe you're both going to need it.